Well, my wife and I came to your great city, Mumbai, at the end of July last year. So by now, we have been here for getting close to 2 years. Since we came here, we've been enjoying the kind of local hospitality, the beautiful culture, very friendly people, and especially with people from Tata. I remember on the 6 days after I came here, I had opportunity to meet with Mr. Ratan Tata, the retiring chairman of the group, because the Chinese government invited him to be one of the vice chairmen of the Boao Forum. So I sent him the letter of invitation on behalf of my government. So that was my first meeting with the very senior people from the Tata group. And very shortly, the Chinese premier was supposed to tour India, in the first ever trip he took since he became the prime minister. Then I had to compete with my colleague, my ambassador, and my Consul General in Calcutta to compete for the premier to come to this part of the country. Then I eventually had the opportunity to persuade my ambassador to agree to allow the premier to come and visit Tata Group and TCS headquarters in, I think where the Chinese premier had a very successful meeting. So I think the trip to the Tata TCL left a very deep impression on the mind of the premier. So that same night, when he was speaking at the Taj Mahal, he didn't use the script written by the secretary. He spoke all from his heart. During the speech of 23 minutes, he quotes Tata 7 times exactly. You see how much impression he must have received from his brief tour to the Tata headquarters. I have my great admiration to the Tata people. You are very fortunate to work with this long-standing, very much respected by the international community. I mean the international community. You are very fortunate to work with a company that has its clear, clearly defined corporate philosophy, corporate culture. So my message to the people in Tata is stay close, stay loyal, work hard, because you not only work hard for yourselves, you also work for the benefits of the corporate, and not only that, you're also working for your nation, because India, under the new leadership, begins to move to a new future, to realize its new dream. Right at the moment, China is the largest trading partner for India. Currently, for the first 3 quarters, the trade figure stands at getting close to $5.5 billion US, which is pretty good. But the deficit is also growing. And this kind of issue, the more, according to the bilateral relations, trade is #1 issue to grow, right? But because India lacks the manufacturing sector to produce what is supposed to be sold in China. So in that regard, the more trade we have, the more trade deficit we have from the Indian side vis-a-vis China. So I think this is the issue the two leaders have also discussed. As I look at it, the trade relations definitely will move forward. As I look at it, the trade deficit between India and China is not between India and China. Rather, it's a deficit between India and the whole world. So that is why, in order to further promote the trade, the sustainable trade relationship, we have to do it more constructively. That is, we need to encourage more investment, which would in turn immediately help to reduce the trade deficit from the Indian side vis-a-vis China. And the joint venture could happen either here in India, in China, or in third countries. all these three means would help to immediately reduce the trade deficit on the Indian side. So trade deficit is something which you have to look after, which would be standing tall on the agenda of the government. The ways to tackle it is the two-way investment and more cooperation on major projects, but that would also encourage the import and exportation of the equipments and things from one side to the other. So, and the other way is the economic corridor jointly proposed by India and China to involve India, China, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. That's a huge area for Indian and Chinese companies to join efforts. So trade relations definitely will move forward as both China and India will open wider to the business communities of the other side.